Testing. Okay. So today I want to look at the control page, because the problem is some of the controls are not explained properly. And that is most importantly the how to use an offhand, which requires you to press down the offhand button and into a direction. So the question is how do I solve that? On the one hand, these descriptions should be really short so that you can remember them, or if you come back to the game a week later, it should be enough to just look at these to remember how the game plays. But obviously they don't explain much. And so one idea is to have a to divide these two screens into sections. So the upper section would be just text, so that would be up here, just a text for the button to describe the actions, and then have the buttons themselves listed down here, and you can, with a cursor that would highlight the current button in yellow, go through all the buttons and get more info. So G would then, well, yeah, that's the problem. You would lose the quick overview. So because they would have to be without a label. Yeah, so there's another problem with this, in that I have the up and down keys for switching the keyboard layout. So moving a cursor through the buttons would be a problem. Label can switch every n seconds. That could be an idea. But it would also be kind of annoying. Yeah. I'd have to wait, yeah. So the other idea is that I only keep small labels. For example, G would just be named take, F would be offhand, D would be bag, S would be wait, and then have in-game context clues. But so that would work for some of these. For example, what's not explained at all is that you can hold the wait button to safely pass over bridges. That could be solved with just having a pop-up, basically, as you're used to from other games. that would, if I would stand on a bridge, it would just have a text down there that says hold the wait button. But that's, first of all, that's lame, giving the player clues. And second of all, that wouldn't work for the for using the offhand, because that would be on screen constantly, basically. So to solve that, I could add GTA style cards that explain something once and never again. So if I had an offhand weapon and I would equip it, it would display the card and say, okay, to use this, hold this button and press a direction. So that would be solved. Or if you cross a bridge for the first time, you'll get told, okay, you can hold wait. Which is, I mean, it's a pretty good way of doing things, because when I add new features that need to be explained, I can just put a new card in. So that would be a pretty easy solution. But then the question is, what needs to be explained? And also a problem is the font on screen is pretty large. So I only have one sentence at most to explain these things. Well, I think in GTA they show more cards. So one card shows up and then after a timer, a second card that continues to explain something. Let's look at the controls again. So yeah, another problem is if I have these cards, they should be pretty descriptive. They should name the buttons. So right now I just have the layout here. I don't have the buttons labeled because I would need to recognize the controller and display the button labels, which I can do. It wouldn't be too much of a hassle, but it's annoying. But for the cards I would have to have that. So I would say to use the offhand, press square on the PlayStation controller and a direction. People don't want to read a lot anyways. Yeah, and I don't want to clutter up the screen as well. So I'm wondering if there's an easier solution. So the problem I want to solve is that the offhand, how to use offhands is not clear. And I've had a couple of people already in Discord and on YouTube ask me how to use them. So that's actually a problem. But that's, I think, the only problem I have to solve. So if there's an easier solution, other than adding the tutorial cards, which I would have then, of course, to I would have to go all the way with them. Yeah, UI looks cool right now, slick and immersive. Thanks. Too much text would ruin that. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I could show those tutorial texts only once for an installed game and then have a button to reset them. So they would really only be there for the beginning. Yeah, of course another solution would be to have a tutorial dungeon that explains all of this, but I don't think that's a good idea. And that's really hard to maintain when I add new things that need to be explained. And they're also pretty boring. So let me think. What other tutorial cards would I need to have? So it's the walking over bridges, it's the using offhand weapons. I could explain what is non-obvious. I'm sure there are things. So I had the tutorial slides in the game previously, but that was cumbersome to read and also hard to maintain because it was a whole lot. But I also explained pretty much everything. So yeah, I could explain gold. I could explain I mean, food is pretty obvious. But that would actually probably be the simplest change. If I just add the tutorial cards, that would mean I could leave this page pretty much intact. If I just, yeah, disarming traps, I could explain disarming traps. And also pushing and pulling boulders. And that might actually be pretty good. So now the question is, do I have enough text? So hatchling diet over there is the font. And I mean, the messages are also up there, but I might lose the messages because they are pretty obvious and not that helpful. So that would be bad if I had to change those as well. I could place the text under the gold counter. And then leave it there for... I mean, the game is turn-based, so you can just stop and read it. So I don't have to keep it on screen forever. I could do the... Not sure what game it is, but I could stop, show an overlay, or show the text and have the player confirm it or close it themselves. That would give me the opportunity to explain things in more detail if I need to. But it's also super disruptive. If the tutorial card is available, show flashing label at the top left. Player presses button and overlay is shown. Yeah. I mean, that would be elegant in that you don't have to read it if you don't want to. That also means I don't know if the player has read it. So I have to show the label everywhere, or the icon. Also, it sounds like a notification to me, and I hate those. So another thing I could do is explain everything in the codex. So if I go here to the offhand weapons, but that's not enough space. If it's like an ad from the 90s. Yeah. I mean, the tutorial cards would also be kind of... So they're also disruptive, but... at least you know what you get immediately. So that's basically two options, because yeah, tutorial is out. That's not going to happen. But the that leaves me with the tutorial cards or explaining all the actions in the controls. Which is, I mean, it's still an option. But for example, for the S button, I would have to explain holding weight to cross bridges, pressing weight to disarm traps, and just general menu behavior. And I'm not sure if I can break this up. So it would be easier if, so this is just a table. The layout of this is just a table. If I could break this into a table as well, and then make it look like the codex, the buttons on the left and the descriptions on the right. So there would have to be multiple lines per button, of course. And it would be harder to piece together the whole control scheme. I mean, it would be so much easier with just more space. Then I could say, then I can move this this table to the left and just have one word describing each button. And on the right, I'll have sections for each button that describe the actions. So yeah, I think I should keep it in this screen where it belongs. So what I'll have to do is, I have this controls menu item here in this menu. I would have to split this into gamepad and keyboard. Then I would have the whole page. And I would also be free to move one of the axes. There could then be a cursor. And it would be up and down. To move between the buttons. Probably, or not. No, probably not. Probably left and right. And then I'll have all the buttons laid out vertically. So that's the easiest solution. It's not ideal, but I lay out the buttons horizontally. Move between them with the cursor. And on the top is text describing each button. So that's super bad because you'll have the bare buttons down here. And you won't be able to get a quick overview unless I turn the text on its side and let it flow upwards. And then here I'll break this cluster have the buttons also in a line and the descriptions on top. But then I'll have to add button labels. So X, A, B, X, Y, cross, square, triangle, square, circle. But I could still have the name of the button attached to it. Or maybe I'll leave it vertical. So I have these short button names and have the explanations on the right. And here as well. Yeah, I think that's the best solution. Let me paint that real quick, so don't forget it. Yeah. I think that's... This is the point where I would open paint because I'm a dummy. I don't have paint, so otherwise I would have done that to show you on screen, but it's just what I described. So buttons on the left with short labels and then a text on the right with bullet points to the actions of that button. And then the touch, so the keyboard layout would move from vertical to horizontal on the D-pad up here. Gamepad and keyboard would land here. And this would be broken off. The problem is, I think this whole thing I render as one sprite. So I'll have to make a new button that fits a letter in it. I can probably just take this in the atlas. Let me actually look at that. Sorry for the flashbang. But here it is. Cause, man, I should really... So I'm editing half pixels right now, which is not ideal. Is that a button? Yeah, I just thought about that. I have paint. Totally forgot that I actually have paint. But it's pretty crowded in here, so not much space. Okay, that looks horrible. But let's see if that works. No, let's remove those. That's actually pretty good. That looks like buttons to me. Hey Lily, how's it going? So if I... the problem is the triangle button, but I'll figure that out. And another problem is that this whole page is basically hard-coded in the layout. So that'll be a huge pain, probably. But I can duplicate this. Maybe. So I'll lose the left stick and turn the D-pad into basically the arrow buttons here, but leaving one side open, so that should be pretty clear. And that's it. It's just a yellow menu button. Okay, it's 3 dashes on PlayStation. Really, PlayStation 4 just says options. And it's also 3 dashes on Xbox. So I can just do 3 dashes that actually fit in there with a round button. Except for the escape. Okay. So let's make this a 2-step process. And first, change the gamepad page. So the problem is I need to now recognize what type of a controller is currently plugged in. But let's just default to Xbox. But I'm actually not quite sure how I'll detect the PlayStation controllers. But I think they don't go through X input, so I should be easily able to test. Just do a string compare on the button name and the gamepad name. But man, the gamepads are just absolutely horrible. I knew it was bad, but I didn't think it was this bad. So that may have hidden problems. Thankfully, there's just 2 of them. So actually, that's not true. The Switch controller works on Linux. So I'll have to swap that too. Okay. Good. Steps to break this into pieces. I'll copy the keyboard layout code. Actually, I can just copy the whole page. Put the button names in by hand. And that's it. And then make the buttons rounded. Going alright, just woke up. Yeah, it's pretty early for the US peeps. Okay, let's look at this again. Of course I don't have space. Oh god. Let's move this down here. So tab is gone and all of this is gone as well. Do you store the texture as a file? Yeah. So that's just a simple bitmap. Actually, I'm not sure if it's indexed or colored. I forgot what it is. I think it's indexed. No idea. So I need a third button. So let's turn this into a square button again. Actually, I think it had the corners cut off. And then, yeah, let's do this correctly. Oops. Wait, actually, I need 4 of these. Let's do that later. For the D-pad. I'm looking at the D-pad. Okay. So I have this. I'm not sure if I use pixels to index those. I'll just I518. That's rounded button. And pixel 33 205. Okay. Let's see. Check out. I think it's options. Render gamepad. Okay. Render keys. Okay, that's pretty. Looks pretty simple. What is sequence? Render keys. Preset sequence. Okay, I don't need that for the gamepad. And yeah, maybe first things first. Let's remove the keyboard gamepad switch at the top. And the menu gets gamepad. keyboard. Controller, I'm not sure. It's better. Do we have some layout engine for the UI, or is it mostly by hand? It's by hand. Mostly. But in a way that stretches across, that layouts well across screen sizes. So it's not, I don't use pixels on screen directly as anchors. It's always relative to an edge. Okay, so now I have another menu item, which is pretty bad because, as you can see, greater than, as you can see, this is all hard coded because the menu changes. 5. And I need, but it's actually not that hard to add something. But what I need is, where's the button? See menu. 5, this is now 6. Okay, this should be fine. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay, here are the buttons. So this is not help anymore. Oh, actually, what? INPS. That's inputs. That's codecs. 5. 4. 5. Okay, this might not work anymore, but I'll figure it out. But let's make this inputs as well, just for now. And then here's the where's the other variant? Okay, that's not, see menu. Uh, 5, 6. And then we're back. Okay, let's see what's broken. The problem is that the menu has different buttons depending on different modes. Okay, but this looks pretty good. Help opens help. Quit quits. And that opens the, those open the controls. So they open the same menu. But actually, let's duplicate the, what was it, inputs, yeah. So this is not defined here, but here. So let's name this keyboard and pad. Oh yeah. Yeah. 2, 3, 4. Key. Pad. Yeah, that's stupid. Pad. render pad, render keys. I think that's this function. So let's rename this render keyboard, render pad. They are super similar, so I probably don't want them to be duplicated. So render inputs, int type, and then what does this do? Okay, it has the page in here as well already, mpage. And that's just 0 or 1. So I can actually just pass that in. Or even, yeah. This needs to go. Update the inputs. This switches between the two pages, between keyboard and gamepad. So that's gone. And it initializes. No, it also sets the mpage 0. Okay, so when this is on the keyboard page, you can press up or down to change the preset. So I'll keep that. And let's keep it a global. But let's set it here. Mpage is 0 and page is 1. Let's see what happens. Inputs. Okay. So this, because the menu has so many pages, if you're on the input page and the update inputs returns 1, it just closes the page. Okay, so this is key and pad. And then this is oh yeah. This is the menu itself. Let's see what happens. Gamepad, keyboard. Yeah, that's the wrong way around. That works. And here as well. Okay, that's good. So I just need to swap the 0 and the 1. Page 1 0. Gamepad, keyboard. Okay. Good. So the layout. Let's look at render pad, render game, render gamepad. Yeah. So this is all just render help segment is just a helper that renders some coordinates in the bitmap, and then it just renders strings. So yeah, and this one is probably the whole of the buttons. 13, 17, 20. Okay, I might have written down the exact wrong things, but let's look at the keyboard. Render. What is K row? Row of a single input key. Okay, that's just button and description. What is it doing? Okay, with a symbol. Okay, that's actually super helpful. So there are these 4 types of symbols. I have no idea what they are, and I didn't comment this. But they are taken from the sequence. And they go up to who knows what. What? Okay, so the escape key is different. 4, 5, 6, 7. Where is the text? The button text. The button letter. Default. Okay, it renders it here. Render string. Oh, that's the text. Okay. I don't get it. It renders the symbol. But there are more than 4 symbols. Oh, I get it. Okay, so... Oh, wow. That's a hack. So the symbol is just any old letter. But what I do is I designate 0, 1, 2, and 3 as the arrows. So if the sequence is between 0 and 3, it will render specific sprites in the atlas. Otherwise, it'll just render a plain old symbol from the ASCII table. And then it'll render the button description. So that's pretty good. I can just use that for the gamepad. So let's copy this whole thing, throw it in here, and I could probably just remove it, but just in case. Undeclared. Oh yeah, sequence. Let's write this sequence ourselves. If I can decipher what it means. Preset sequence. Oh, there it is. Okay. And I need to have this actually be below that function. Okay. So the sequence is what is it? So it's directions. So 0, 2, 3, 1. Okay. And HJKL. That's left, down, right. Oh, I have no idea. Let's just say, I think the normal. Is it not BAYX? No, it's ABXY. And I only need one. Let's see if it explodes. Keyboard, gamepad, ABXY. Take offhand drop. No, that's wrong. Should be X. AXYB. No idea why. That's the order. It's actually pretty bad. Actually, well, I kind of need this because it's because I need to switch between the controllers. But let's flip the order. Oh God, no. So it's it's take, then it's wait, bag, and offhand. No. Offhand and bag. Should be okay. Okay, let's make this use round buttons. I think I need to adjust this. And then figure out what this does. Renders help segment add XY with atlas characters. Great, because I only have the indices. Why did I do it that way? Okay. One. Is this? Yeah. Not the render string. And this is 0. Okay. Then let's see. Where the round button is. So this is, okay, it's 4, 7. And then whatever the width is. I think it's, what's that, 7, 17. So 4, 17, 2. I think I need to go outside. 6, 19. Four, 17, 6, 19. Nope. Why did it change the keyboard? Okay, that's just wrong order. And it wasn't wide enough. Okay, that's also wrong. But getting closer. So what did I actually look at? That looks like 6 and 19 to me. Four. Let's look at the other one. 0, 13. So that adds up. And 3, 15. So that's plus 12. So that's 18. What? Please let me jump back in. God, I'm making it worse. What is happening? Okay. What is CX, CY, CX2, CXY? Great. Great. Just awesome. So this is 4. Wait. 417. Yeah. CX, CY, C2X, C2Y. So this needs to be and it works. Looks good. Okay. Let's just keep the D-pad as is for now. And let me yeah, I'll need to write these button labels down. Or actually I have them, yeah, they're now just duplicated. I'll need to remember them for the texts. So let's actually go off the gamepad. So A is take, pull, confirm. Wait. Disarm, cancel. And then X. Offhand and drop, and Y is bag, up, down, left, right, move, attack, push. Okay. That's pretty good. Let's give them the same, well, almost same. Well, no, actually same position. So render gamepad is XY, but keyboard is rendering the preset first. Guess they're now the same. Yep. I wanted further to the left. So what is X? X is center of the screen divided by half width of this whole thing, which is, well, it's not that helpful. Let's remove this and make this wider. Okay, that's not wide enough. Let's just, where's the width used? Nowhere. So let's lose it. And the height is probably also not that helpful. Okay, that's too far, but that's better. So let's move it back. Okay, that's pretty good. Oh, I'm missing the menu button. For the gamepad. That complicates things a bit. But here are three dashes. So that's 389. Can I render that? Don't think so. Or I can use E4. So the sequence. I think I'm actually missing one here anyways. Is that true? No, the escape key is rendered differently. Let's just try it. So if it's a 4, then render the dashes, and that's 389. Oh god, no idea what that does, but let's see what it does. Probably won't show up. Yeah, I need to render this explicitly here. And that's 8. Menu. There it is. Looks pretty bad. So this was actually correct. Probably. So yeah, this is all pretty cumbersome, but this holds for a couple of months. That I do not have to touch this. So creating a more complicated layouting system, for example, is just a waste of time. I think, at least. That could, of course, change in the future. Okay, so this all needs to move up a bit. So let's say -9. Probably too much. 8. That's pretty good. Still need to move the keyboard preset. I wonder where. Probably to the top. Render character, render string. So this is the up and down character, but that's now going to be left and right. So I'll need probably 2 more here. Of course I can't see this, but that was too much. And this will have to be 1.5 times the character height. Okay, that's not bad. Okay, let's... obviously this needs to move to the left a bit. Settings saved. Let's remove this message. Because I don't think that's needed at all. It messes with my layout. And yeah, it needs to move down. Wait, actually I need a keyboard title. So this needs to move down again. So 7. And then I need the title. Gamepad. Keyboard. And then this is gray +1. This is this. And this moves over by 10 probably. Okay, that's not all bad. Could move up half a height. Let's move that. That is 0.5. Yeah, they're floats. That's pretty good. Minus 36. And let's switch the cursor with which the keyboard preset is changed. So this is not north south, this is west east. Yeah, so I press left and right. That switches the layout. And gamepad has nothing to switch. Okay. Let's move them back a bit to the right. And then I can... Yeah, that's good. I can change the labels. Let's do that. Because they are just duplicated. So, what will the names be? Move. And, well, that's actually a special case. Offhand. Wait. And take. Those these central actions. I mean, yeah, you're taking much more stuff than you're pulling boulders. You're waiting much more than you're disarming stuff. And the rest is just OS defaults or controller defaults. So that should be fine. And I'm editing the commented out section, of course. Wait. I don't like offhand, but what's the alternative? So up, down, left, right. Don't like that. Because that's super obvious. So let's just give the first one label. Maybe that works. Probably not. Let's leave them blank. And just have the move. Actually, where's the menu? Oh, that's down there. Okay. Still pretty bad. And yeah, still pretty bad. Let's undo this and remove the center one. Because yeah, I mean it's kind of important for the keyboard layouts to know what's up, down, left, and right. Okay. I was confused by what weight does in the game. It skips a turn, basically. And it has some other uses. It also disarms weapons, traps. But yeah, that's why I'm changing all of this, to explain that better. Oh my god, this is so much better already. Okay. So now I need a cursor. A cursor for the buttons. And it should probably reset. Each time I leave this page. But let's add it. And then, well, it's also not clear how, what the boundaries are for the cursor. The hell is this? Okay. 18, 19. What am I doing? Yeah, it should be less. Wait, what did I do? Yeah, that's good. Okay. So these buttons are pretty hard to read. So maybe I'll change the color. I can actually let me try that right now. That is, do I pass in the colors? No. The colors are KCI. Oh, okay. So this needs to be gray. This. I mean, it doesn't make it that much better. Maybe if it's gray plus 1 and this is near black. Yeah, that's much better, I think. Still not ideal. Apart from the escape button, of course. That I would have to fix. But this actually, I mean, it looks nice. Let's just, yeah, I'll just keep this for now. Definitely better than before. Menu. There it is. Near black. Yeah. And gray +1. Of course. Render string. Oh, it's the whole thing. Great. Of course, of course. So the escape, the ESC is hard-coded, or not hard-coded, but it's in the sprite. So I have to remove that. Okay, that didn't show up at all. That's great. Where do I render this? Oops, yeah. Minus +0. Let's try that. Almost. -1. That can't be. Okay, let's try 1. .75. That looks not good. Oh, is it now too much or too little? To remember. Too much. 7, 3, 5. No idea why these numbers are so weird. But okay, X is fine now. Let's just fix the Y. I think it's because I use everything relative to the screen width, and that doesn't divide evenly. Screen height, I mean, that doesn't divide evenly in the characters. So this is fine. This looks good. Okay. So the goal is then to add the cursor and the text on the right. The texts, and then that would basically be it. Yeah, but I'll do that off screen as I'll have to go. But thank you for watching, guys, and I'll be back tomorrow, and then I'll show you the final product and work on some more stuff. Probably, well, as far, not sure how much I can finish today, but I'll have to take over the couple of features that I reverted with the last update. So that's the plan for today. Thanks, Pan Lily. You as well. I'll be in Discord later when I'm back. And yeah, thank you guys for the support, and I will see you tomorrow. There's my OBS. There it is. Okay. All right, guys. See you then. Bye-bye.